Well, some of you may not know this, but in the health care reform bill that we just passed, you know the big health care reform bill? That some people are campaigning for office now, they say they want to repeal it. Let me tell you one thing that's in there that I put in there. It's called the Community First Choice Option. Here's what it does. Beginning next year, in October of next year, if a state adopts the Olmstead decision, you know what I mean? If a state will provide, without segregating people, without saying, yes, maybe intellectual disabilities, you get it, but not physical disability. No segregation by disability. If a state will provide independent living, money follows the person out, then the federal government will give the state a 6% boost in their federal matching money. That is a big deal. I am telling you now, states will be able to go to people and say, okay, now if you want to live in the community, we'll take money follows the person, which we extended till 2016. That covers 100% of the state's costs for people living in the community for the first year. Then after that, they get the 6% bump up in their FMAP, in their federal matching assistance money. So I think that we all believe that with that in there, that beginning next year and the year after and the year after and the year after, in a very few years, 50 states in this country will have the wherewithal, and they will have adopted these laws to change it so that any person with a disability who wants that money, not just to go to the nursing home, but the money go to the person, not the facility, the money goes to the person, they'll be able to do that and live independently in our country. So I just want you all to know, those who are saying about repealing this legislation, that's a big part of it. Not a lot of people know about it. But those of us in the disability rights movement, we know about it. And we need to spread the word out that this is one of the final little things that we've got to do to make the Americans with Disabilities Act meaningful in our lives today, and that is making sure we got personal attendant services, people are able to live independently, and be able to go out and get jobs and go to work. So I say that because while I'm proud of the ADA and all it's done, and I'm proud of all of you for everything that you've done through all these years to make it a living legislation, to get people attuned to what it really means. And I must thank also so many of the businesses. So many businesses have come forward. They've made their places accessible. They've widened doors. They put in ramps. They are welcoming to people with seeing eye dogs to come into the restaurants now and places like that. I suppose there are some who haven't, but by and large, businesses have been very good about opening their doors and bringing people in. So I thank them also for all that they've done. I thank you for all the struggles. Now we're not quite there yet. As I say, there's a few more things that we've got to do. But boy, I'll tell you, this country is sure different than it was 20 years ago in terms of mobility, education, being able to get in and out of places. I'll close on this. 2 notes I'll close on. One, when we were passing the ADA, I became acquainted with a young woman in Des Moines by the name of Danette Crawford. Danette Crawford was 14 years old, 1990, used a wheelchair, actually lived in great pain. 14 years old, she was campaigning for the ADA. And I remember I saw Danette once, and I was telling her about all the wonderful things that the ADA would do for mobility and accessibility to jobs. And, you know, I said I can see a time when we're going to have new technologies for the hearing impaired, new technologies for the sight impaired, all kinds of things to make life, make all these jobs and things accessible. So I went on and on about that, and finally Danette said, well, that's all well and good, she said. That's all well and good. But she said, you know, I just want to be able to go out and buy a pair of shoes like anybody else. I just want to go out and be able to buy a pair of shoes like anybody else. And then someone later said to me, you know what the ADA means? It means that we can live in the world. That's all. You know, it's the basic, fundamental things that so many of us take for granted. Just go out and buy a pair of shoes. Well, she couldn't get her wheelchair over a curb, couldn't get it in the door, couldn't do anything, couldn't catch a bus, couldn't do all that. She just wanted to go out and live like everybody else. And lastly, I'll close with this. And I want to thank my interpreter, whose name I don't know. What is your name? David. David. So I thank you for interpreting. Not interpreter. That's right. Get my signs straight here. I haven't practiced very much. But I think at a time like this, I love sign language. Many of you know my brother was deaf, and that's what got me involved in disability rights issues a long time ago. But there's a wonderful sign. There's a wonderful sign for America. And I'm going to teach it to you. You take your two hands, put them together, put your fingers together like that, kind of make an A, and go around in a circle. That's the sign for America. Think about it. Not separate and apart. Not all kinds of individuals out here running around. It's all of us together. All of us together, jointly, in one family. No one separated out. No one separated out because this finger is littler than that finger, or this finger is crookeder than that finger. No, we're all together. And we live within the circle of life. We're all in this circle, this unbroken circle, an unbroken family, all of us one together. To me, that's what the ADA means. Until July the 26th of 1990, our American family was not like this. We opened our arms, we broke down the barriers, and we said, now, our American family is more complete, is more complete. We've broken down barriers on race and religion and ethnicity. We had one more to go, and that was to break down those barriers on disability. So now, our family is more complete, and we live within that circle of life, all of us together. That's what the ADA means to me. Thank you very much. Thank you, and I want to thank my interpreter, David. Thank you all very, very much.